Ever feel like you're stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to industrial maintenance?
Aha, I know what you mean.
We're talking like sending oil samples to a lab and then waiting, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
But what if we could like fast forward diagnostics? Catch problems before they even become problems.
Right.
That's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely.
Online oil analysis sensors, the future of keeping machines running smoothly. We're going beyond just hype with two really interesting articles from Miniotech.
Right.
They're an intelligence solutions company, and their articles give this balanced perspective on the good, the bad, and everything in between when it comes to this technology.
Yeah, they're really interesting articles.
By the end of this, you'll know if online oil analysis is the key to maintenance zen, or if it's, well, just another shiny object.
I think what's really cool about online oil analysis is its potential to completely change how we think about maintenance, shifting us from reactive to proactive.
Okay, so less like scrambling to put out fires.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about using data to predict and stop issues before they even happen. It's a whole different ballgame.
I like the sound of that. Less firefighting, more chilling. So let's talk data. This first article throws us right into the action with a real-world story that'll make you wonder how we ever lived without this tech. Picture this. A huge mining operation, right? They're doing routine maintenance on a critical gearbox oil change, the whole 9 yards. They even installed a new, top-of-the-line online oil sensor just to be extra safe. Everything seems perfect.
And
And then, bam, the sensor throws up a red flag.
and this is where things get interesting. The sensor picked up on a hidden issue that could have been disastrous.
Uh-oh, what was going on?
Water contamination in the gearbox. It might seem like a small thing, but even a little bit of water can cause some serious damage to that kind of equipment.
It's like that tiny little drip, drip, drip that turns into a massive plumbing nightmare before you know it, right?
Exactly. We're talking
Mhm.
about wear and tear, corrosion, all those nasty things that can lead to catastrophic failure if they're not caught early enough. And here's the kicker. Traditional oil analysis might have completely missed this, at least until it was way too late.
Wow, talk about dodging a bullet.
Yeah.
They got lucky with that online sensor.
Absolutely. The sensor immediately detected a massive spike in relative humidity, almost 100%. This real-time alert gave them just enough time to shut down the gearbox and prevent a potential disaster. It's the perfect example of how online oil analysis can save companies potentially millions in repairs and downtime.
Now that's what I call a return on investment. It's like having a guardian angel for your equipment,
Yeah.
watching over things 24/7. But let's dig a little deeper, shall we? How do these sensors actually work? What's the secret sauce behind these real-time alerts?
Well, the secret sauce is actually pretty cool. These sensors continuously monitor the oil for a whole bunch of different things. We're talking about wear debris, changes in viscosity, contamination levels, you name it. Think of it like this. It's like having a live stream of data flowing from your equipment, giving you a constant update on what's going on inside.
So it's like having a live feed of your machine's vital signs. No more guesswork, no more outdated information.
Exactly, you're spot on. And what really sets these advanced sensors apart is a technology called electrochemical impedance spectroscopy, or EIS for short. Basically, it analyzes the electrical properties of the oil.
Okay, so how does that help?
Well, it gives you a much more detailed and nuanced understanding of the oil's condition.
Interesting.
Think of it like this, trying to diagnose an illness with just a thermometer. You can tell something's off, but you don't have the full picture.
Right.
EIS is like getting a full blood panel. You get a much clearer, deeper understanding of what's really going on.
So we're talking about more than just a simple oil change reminder here.
Hmm.
This is about getting a deep, thorough understanding of your equipment's health.
Exactly. And that level of detail allows for a much more proactive and targeted approach to maintenance. You're not just maintaining based on a schedule anymore, you're maintaining based on the actual condition of your equipment, which translates to way less downtime, fewer breakdowns, and ultimately, those machines are going to last longer.
And I'm guessing a much healthier bottom line for the company in the long run.
You got it.
Yeah.
But you are right, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. Every new technology, no matter how cool it is, comes with its fair share of skepticism.
I mean, it's only natural, right? People hear new tech and they immediately think, ugh, expensive, or, oh, great, something else complicated to learn.
Yeah, I get it.
And of course, the big one, is this actually going to work?
Right.
Well, our second article tackles all those doubts head on. So let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay, sounds good.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about this technology?
Well, a common one is that online oil sensors can only measure a few things, so you don't get the full picture of your equipment's health. And yeah, it's true that older sensors were kind of limited,
Right.
but the technology has evolved a lot. Modern sensors can track a whole range of parameters, so you're getting a way more comprehensive view of the oil condition now.
Okay, so it's like upgrading from that old brick phone you used to have to like the latest smartphone.
Aha, yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't use a brick phone to do what you can do on a smartphone.
No way.
It's the same idea here. Okay, so what about accuracy? I mean, can these sensors really compete with a good old-fashioned lab test?
That's a great question, and I think it's important to remember that lab tests are still super valuable. They give you that really detailed snapshot in time.
Right.
But oil condition, it's not static. It's dynamic. It's constantly changing. And that's where online sensors really shine. They give you that continuous monitoring so you can see trends and patterns that a lab analysis might miss. It's like the difference between looking at a single photograph versus watching a high-speed film. The film shows you how something changes over time.
So it's less about replacing lab tests and more about like adding to them, right? Getting those real-time insights in addition to the lab results.
You got it.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's be real. These sensors can't be cheap, especially you're talking about using them on a large scale. So how do you justify the cost?
That's where you got to think long term. What's the cost of not investing in this technology? Imagine a major equipment failure, right?
No, yeah.
That could cost you millions in repairs, lost production, all of that downtime. Suddenly, the price of a few sensors doesn't seem so bad.
It's like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly. And it's not just about preventing those worst-case scenarios. Online oil analysis can help you optimize your maintenance schedules, make your oil last longer, and it can catch those small issues before they turn into big, expensive problems. It's an investment that pays off over time.
All right, so we've tackled a few big concerns. We've talked about how they measure more than just a couple of things now, how they can be even more helpful than traditional methods, and, of course, the cost. What other misconceptions are out there?
Well, some people think that online oil analysis is like a magic bullet, that it's a standalone solution. They don't realize it can be combined with other condition monitoring techniques.
Oh, interesting. You mean like using it with, what was it, vibration analysis or thermal imaging?
Yeah, exactly. Think of it like going to the doctor for a checkup. They don't just take your temperature and call it a day.
Hopefully not.
Right. They use a bunch of different tests, blood pressure, listen to your heart, maybe take some blood work to get a complete picture of your health. Using online oil analysis with other techniques is the same idea. You're getting this more holistic view of your equipment.
So instead of just one data point, you're getting this like multi-dimensional understanding of what's going on.
Exactly. The second article actually mentions a really interesting case study where a company was having problems with a planetary gearbox. They used both oil analysis and vibration analysis to figure out what was going on.
Cool. What happened?
So the oil analysis showed that there was some bearing wear happening.
Okay.
But then they used the vibration data, and that's how they figured out the root cause was actually misalignment.
Gotcha.
If they had only used one or the other, they might have misdiagnosed the whole thing and wasted a ton of time and money trying to fix the wrong problem.
Wow. It's amazing. It's like having a whole team of specialists working together to diagnose and treat a patient, but the patient is, a giant piece of industrial equipment.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to better diagnoses, more efficient maintenance, and in the end, a more reliable and cost-effective operation.
So it sounds like online oil analysis isn't meant to replace everything else. It's more like a key part of this bigger, more connected approach to industrial maintenance.
You got it. It's all about using data to make smarter decisions and get the most out of your operations.
Speaking of data, the article also talks about how online oil analysis is being used more and more in some pretty specific industries. It's interesting to see this tech popping up in unexpected places.
Definitely. I mean, we've been talking about mining, but it's actually huge in wind energy right now, too.
Now, that makes sense. Wind turbines, they're often in really remote, harsh environments, right?
Exactly. So sending someone out there to manually check everything, it's a pain, it's expensive, and just a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, I could see how having those sensors there all the time, keeping an eye on the gearbox oil, would be a game changer for wind farm operators.
Totally. It means fewer manual inspections, which saves time and money, and it also lets them get ahead of any potential problems. Nobody wants a turbine grinding to a halt unexpectedly. But it's not just those two industries either. We're seeing it more in marine, manufacturing, transportation, pretty much anywhere that relies on heavy equipment and lubrication.
It's really incredible how well this technology fits with that whole industrial Internet of Things idea, sensors everywhere, collecting data, making machines smarter.
It's an exciting time to be in the world of industrial maintenance, for sure.
It's like we're moving from, I don't know, using stethoscopes to having MRIs, but for machines. So after this deep dive into all these sensors and data, what's the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest thing to remember is that online oil analysis isn't some futuristic fantasy, you know? It's here now, and it's changing how industrial maintenance is done. Whether you're dealing with a handful of machines or a whole fleet of them, this tech has the potential to change everything.
So less crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, more confidently keeping things up and running.
Exactly. It's a shift from reacting to problems to predicting and preventing them. And honestly, a lot of the arguments against online oil analysis kind of fall apart when you look at how far it's come.
It's like those old maps, where they used to write, "Here be dragons." A lot of the fear around this tech is based on how things used to be, not how they are now.
Yeah, I see that. And when you combine online oil analysis with other condition monitoring, it's like you're not just monitoring, you're doing this full-on investigation, finding the root cause of problems. It's next level optimization.
So for anyone listening who's still not sure about this, I think the question to ask is, what's it costing you to not at least explore this? Could you be saving money? Could your equipment be lasting longer? Could things be running smoother if you just gave it a shot?
Those are the questions for sure. We're really at a turning point when it comes to industrial maintenance, and online oil analysis is leading the way. So it comes down to, are you going to be ahead of the curve or are you going to be playing catch up?
That's a great point to end on, I think. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of online oil analysis sensors. Hopefully, everyone listening feels a little more informed, a little more inspired to, well, keep those gears turning.
Always a pleasure chatting with you about this stuff. I guess until next time, may your machines be ever vigilant and your data insightful.
And to everyone listening, remember, knowledge is power,
Well,
especially when it comes to keeping things running smoothly. Until next time.